They truly are like family to us. We are so lucky to have these people that just care.
At Ann and Robert H. Lurie Children's Hospital of Chicago, we know that caring for your child takes more than medicine.
They're not just treating the disease, they're caring for Olivia. They know my baby's name.
It makes me happy, and it makes me feel better.
With cutting-edge treatments and kid-friendly care, there's a reason Lurie Children's is ranked the #1 children's hospital in Illinois.
I would always recommend Lurie Children's, always.
Loading the kids in the car, brokering peace in the back seat, mastering the snack handoff without even looking. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who live in your community, know you by name, and answer when you call. They keep insurance simple, so you can worry about more important things, like figuring out what's growing in that cup holder. That's simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if auto owners make sense for you.
This is Beer in Front, part of the OddPods Media Network. Every week I'll have a beer that maybe we've forgotten along the way while we're chasing those check-ins and badges. Some weeks I'll talk about a new beer that has potential to be a classic. Being the Chicago beer guy, I'll also talk about great craft beer news in the city of Chicago. And remember, sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet. That's Beer in Front, and it's coming up now. Welcome to the May 10th edition of Beer in Front. This is episode 159. I'm your host, Dave Zalatoris, and Beer in Front is a proud member of the OddPods Media Network. This week, I'll have Dortmunder Gold from Great Lakes, and locally, I'm going to have Son of Juice from Maplewood as the beer in front. Over the weekend, I hit up some spots with my friend Benny. We went to Hop Butcher, Dovetail, Beguile, Spiteful, and Half Acre. Had a great time catching up and supporting local businesses. All of those breweries are great. Had a lot of great stuff from them. Definitely, if you're in the Lincoln Square, North Center part of Chicago, all 5 of those spots I would definitely hit up. Great beers. We had a collab at Dovetail. They did a collaboration with Revolution. This is their Hopfen lager, which is a traditional Dovetail lager used with some experimental hops from Revolution. That was really good. So if you're around Chicago, if you're near Dovetail or Revolution, you could pick up Hopfen lager. That was great. Everything else we had from Half Acre, Spiteful, Hop Butcher, all top shelf stuff. So it was really cool catching up with old friend of mine, one of my best friends, if not my best friend ever. So that was really cool. Coming up soon, I have some interviews lined up with Crooked Hammock Brewing Company. I have one out of Kansas, Walnut River. If you've seen the YouTube channel, I have a couple quick reviews up of some great beers from Walnut River. And I also have someone lined up from Great Lakes to come on the show, and we're going to talk the fabulous Great Lakes Brewery. I've heard nothing back from the Baseball Hall of Famer, so I don't know if I was ghosted or if they looked at my numbers and said, "You're just a local clown out of Chicago. You're not big enough for me." But I don't know. I'm still hoping. They're the ones that initially contacted me. I wasn't fishing for anything, so maybe they'll get back to me, but we'll see. But I'm still waiting to hear if Wade Boggs, the Baseball Hall of Famer, is going to get back to Beer in Front, and hopefully I could have him on soon, and we're going to talk baseball and Wade Boggs. If you'd like to support the show, you could head over to patreon.com/beerinfront. You could subscribe for as little as $1 a month. Helps the show out. I do appreciate everyone that supports the show. And if you can't do a Patreon, I totally get it. I still appreciate you for listening, to go into the YouTube or TikTok. I appreciate you as well. If you get a chance, give the show a like or a 5-star. whatever, that helps the show out a lot and get some more people tuning into the show. But I do appreciate everyone that helps out the show, whether it's monetarily or just listens, and I appreciate you all. My birthday's at the end of the month, and Ruby found, well, we both found, but Ruby put it in her cart. I've been looking for a Schlitz glass, and Ruby found this one, so she picked it up, an old school Schlitz glass for me. This thing weighs about 5 pounds. The thing weighs a ton. I'm really happy about that. I'm going to take a week off of the podcast, probably at the end of the month. We're going out of town to the Los Angeles area, so I'm going to take a week off of the podcast there. But I'm sure I'll bring the tripod and microphone out, and I'll find a local brewery there and see if I could talk to someone there, or if not, just sit and day drink all day. So look for that coming up at the end of the month. In beer news this week, if you're in the Vancouver area, you might have seen a ton of cans laying out upside down against some curb. They were being drained into the sewer. I guess these cans expired, and the brewery just had a couple jamokes pick up these cans and dump them so they could get the 10-cent recycling fee for the aluminum cans. The owner of the East Vancouver Brewing Company said that the men had been promised the empties in exchange for loading a truck that would take these cans to be emptied at a brewery, but the guys took matters into their own hands and just started dumping it and lining up these empty cans into a sewer. The police were involved. No one got arrested, but they were told that dumping beer into a sewer is not the proper way to dispose of an expired product. So if you saw a bunch of cans in Vancouver, everything's still good. I've talked about before on the show non-traditional alcohol companies starting to make seltzers and everything, but the newest one is from Ocean Spray. They're teaming up with Absolute Vodka, and they're coming out with a vodka cranberry seltzer-like or ready-to-drink cocktail line coming out early next year. So if you're a fan of Absolute and Ocean Spray, you could get an Absolute vodka and cranberry. There's a brewery in Birmingham, Alabama. Now, the brewery's called Avondale Brewing, and they were going to schedule a concert on July 18th from Ted Nugent. Whatever you think about Ted Nugent, that's on you. I'm not a fan of the guy. Never really been a fan of the music, but whatever. But after it was announced that Ted Nugent was going to play, people in Alabama went into an uproar, and the brewery canceled the concert because they didn't want to deal with all the negative reaction that their customers were giving them. So, never judge a book by its cover. Big ups to the people in Alabama for saying, no, we do not want Ted Nugent to play here. And I will say this, like I said, I'm not a fan of Ted Nugent. I'm not a fan of his beliefs or whatever, but someone that I know, and I was there, encountered him at the airport and could not have been a nicer human being, respectful, genuinely good guy in person. So I don't know if everything else is just an act, but in fairness to Mr. Nugent, when I did see him and the person I talked to that helped him said he could not have been a nicer man. ALS, or the Lou Gehrig's disease, is horrible. If you'd like to support and donate money, you could participate in Ales for ALS. Since 2013, they've raised over $5 million for research into ALS. There's a couple breweries in Illinois that participate. Brothership in Mokina and Noon Whistle in Lombard You could buy beer from them and support Ales for ALS, or you could go to their website, a4a.als.net. And finally, coming up is Illinois Craft Beer Week. It's between May 19th and the 26th. Plenty of things to do around the great state of Illinois to support craft beer in the state. You could pick up a passport and you could document your craft beer adventures. So pick one of those up. There's a Day of Giving, which is a beer and bourbon festival. Small Brewery Sunday, which will be Sunday, May 21st. There's a fundraiser on Monday the 22nd for Pint Day. There's a patio party day, Day of Action. And finally, to close out the week, Beer Under Glass is returning to Union Station this year. And I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to miss Beer Under Glass. But you shouldn't. Head over to illinoisbeer.org and you could learn more about the great Illinois Craft Brewers Guild, Illinois Craft Beer Week. You could find out how to get the glass for this year, which looks spectacular. I'll be picking one of those up. But definitely head over to the Illinois Craft Brewers Guild to find out more on Craft Beer Week.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey, this is Grabbing Brisket Podcast. Join us every Monday where we talk about the latest trends in barbecue, interviews with world top pitmasters, celebrity cooks.
Ooh, like Wee Man from Jackass.
And musicians.
Like Rich O'Toole.
So check us out. We do beer reviews, barbecue fails.
So many fires.
Dude, a lot of people just burn their houses down for no reason.
We also talk about cocaine hippos versus Beth Gators.
Learn how to make some tailgate gravy.
Altercations with Texas Rangers.
People throwing Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah, so check out grabthebrisket.com for podcast info, viral social media posts, and so much more.
Oh, the weather's getting warmer, so you should definitely head over to Grab 'em in the Brisket and get you some barbecue tips. All right, the old school beer I want to talk about is from Great Lakes out of Cleveland, Ohio. This is their Dortmunder Gold Lager. This clocks in at 5.8% alcohol, 30 IBUs. According to the can, it's a classic award-winning balance of sweet malt and dry hop flavors. This has been around, according to the can, since 1988. It's old school. It's a classic. Coming up soon, I'm going to have someone on from Great Lakes out in Cleveland. I reached out to the brewery. If you've listened to the show the past 3 years, you know I love Great Lakes. I love their Edmund Fitzgerald, their Burning River, Commodore Perry, everything Great Lakes puts out. I've always been a big fan of. So someone's coming on in a few weeks. We're going to talk about Great Lakes, but we're going to talk about some of their newer beers that are hitting the shelves. I wanted to do one of the older ones, little preview of what's coming up in the next few weeks. Dortmunder Gold, I haven't had this in a while, but I've always loved it. So let's crack it open. Dortmunder Gold is a really nice color, nice amber, reddish tones to it. Good foam, good one solid finger of foam here. Smells great. I get a little of the hops. I get more of the malt sweetness out of the aroma, but the aroma I think is terrific. No, that's really good. A lot of sweetness here from the malt. Very little of the hops I get. I don't get a lot. This only has 30 IBU, so it's It's a Dortmunder. It's not a hoppy beer, but this is an excellent beer, great tasting. Such a good beer. All their old school beers are great, and that's probably why they've been around since forever, because they put out great product time after time. If you see this, I grabbed this at Mariano's, which is a chain grocery store here in Chicago. They had this in their build your own 6-pack section, but you could definitely pick up 6-packs of this and any of the other great beers that Great Lakes puts out. If you see it, put it in the cart. Dortmunder Gold Lager is a winner. Okay, the next beer I want to talk about, I don't think I've talked about on the show. I've had other beers from Maplewood, but I don't think I've had Son of Juice. This is an IPA that is 6.3% alcohol. They use Mosaic, Simcoe, and Nugget hops here. Maplewood and Son of Juice, this has been around for a long time. It's no Johnny come lately, and I've always enjoyed it. So I picked this up in a mix pack the other day. So let's crack open Son of Juice. Son of Juice has a very nice light color. Good foam, good carbonation here. Nice aroma. It's not overpowering, but the aroma is very good nonetheless. Big fan of that. I getting some like melon notes with the hops here. Very nice. No, that's a rock solid beer. If you're in the Chicagoland area, by all means, head over to Maplewood, or you could pick up Son of Juice everywhere. I mentioned that I picked this up in a mix pack. I believe I grabbed this at Mariano's, which is a grocery store here, so you could pick up Maplewood products all over the city of Chicago and suburbs. I think Son of Juice is a winner. If you see it, you know what to do. Put this one in the cart. Maybe about a month ago, I was talking with Brian Colburn. We were talking via direct messages over on Twitter. You remember Brian from The Pizza Show, and also he's the host of My Weekly Mixtape and also Playlist Wars. But we were talking, and I was mentioning to Brian that part of me wants to branch out and maybe start something new. And just kicking around the idea, nothing really came of it. And then yesterday on social media, Lauren from Beard Ale is going to start another podcast. And that got the wheels turning. I don't know if I'm going to do it. And here's why. One's enough. I don't think you want to hear more of 15, 20 minutes a week of me. But it also takes time to do. If I'm going to do it, it's definitely not going to be another weekly thing. It might be a one-off, maybe once a month. And I'm not sure of the format and the topics. I do know that when I've done special edition shows like the pizza episodes and the ones on music, they've done extremely well, far better than this little beer show. The Stax Record Show still ranks amongst my top shows of the month outside of, the current ones that I put out. I don't know what format, what topic, if it's just going to be something various. I do know that listening to some shows that try to be all things to everyone winds up being nothing. And I don't want that to happen, but I'm kicking around a few ideas. I've got a little cover art that I've already created just in case I do it. But I want to know what you think. If you think, Dave, I need more than 15 or 20 minutes a week of you, you should do something. Or, Dave, that's enough. Please. Either way, let me know. You can email me, dave@beerinfront.com. If I do it, it's not going to be quick. It's not going to be in the next couple of weeks, but it's something that's floating around in the back of my head. All right, that's going to wrap things up for this week's edition of Beer in Front. I thank you very much for listening. If you want to get a hold of me, you could email me, dave@beerinfront.com. beerinfront.com. You can find me on all the social media platforms at Beer in Front. I hope everyone has a great week. I'll see you next week on the show, and remember, sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.